Sorry for the slight delay. I was getting my water. Welcome. We got some... I think we're still in the middle of PvP, baby. I'll check with the players. We got this. Hello.
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 We ready to dive back in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
Consoles are indeed Quincy.
Indeed.
Yep.
Last time on Tipping the Scales, the party had a bit of a downtime, which was then interrupted as they met an old friend who has not appeared on the screen before, but one who follows the same deity that Jared does. The group tried to stop him from tracking her and eventually murdering her, which is where we pick up here.
The best part is if we hadn't said a single thing, he wouldn't have known.
Yep. Now, I would like to ask, do we want to continue PvP? Or do you think with how Jared is double grappled, we're out of it?
I feel like that is entirely up to Zoldan.
If I remember
I agree.
correctly, I believe Jared just came in. Is that correct, Selden?
Yeah. He knows that at his current, with his current abilities, he would not be able to take on all three at once. Two, maybe. One, definitely. But the odds are against him. He is bound very well. And while he still looks as though he's trying to find some type of opportunity, he is not actively fighting anymore.
Alright.
Also, for the sake of the audience, there is a bit of a retcon with with the damage that Ember took, because, Zoldan, would you like to explain how the Pact of the Blade works?
Yeah. So, with the new version of the Pact of the Blade as an invocation rather than a pact boon. Let me see if I can find it somewhere here. There it is. The Pact of the Blade. It says that when I attack with the bonded weapon, I can change the damage type from its normal damage type to necrotic, psychic, or radiant damage. It could be any of those. So because Jared would know Ember's abilities, he would swap it from the normal damage type, which he knows would be resisted, to psychic to do at least a little bit more.
Yeah, so, the Greatsword attack went from Ember taking 8 points of slashing damage to its now 17 points of psychic damage, and that has been accounted for in the character sheet. So I have added the extra damage. So just want to clarify that, because I feel like that should be that should be added in, and it's not fair to just, completely discount it, because there are a lot of things to keep track of. So
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for keeping us up to date.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But yeah, the floor is open to you. Both Ember and Mina are grappling with Jared.
yeah, and Ember, still raging, is not going to release his grapple. He's he knows that the second he does, Jared's gonna run off. So
Now,
And-
are you thinking clearly?
and Ember is also still raging. I believe I've been raging for 3 rounds. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can rage for. Actually, wait. Are you using the new version or 2014 version?
New version, except for the it lasts for 10 minutes, because I think DM and I
Ah.
agreed that's a bit much.
It's
So
there so that you can make use of the while you're raging, you can replace the stat usually used for this check with strength. But it's also very excessive. 1 minute's already usually the entire combat.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
All right,
also
understood.
like
Then never mind.
I
Then
am able
discount what I was
to,
gonna say.
to do things that don't involve rage. So
Yeah. All right. And
but yeah, so like using a bonus action to keep up rage, I am doing rage lasting for 10 minutes, not so much.
understood. And what was it that Mina had said?
Asking Jared if he was thinking clearly.
I always have been.
I don't think that is quite true.
As you say that, like, Ember's grip on you just tightens a little bit.
Well, I am at your mercy. What exactly is it that you plan to do? We can't exactly stand around here for days now, can we?
Ember's gonna look up at Mina.
We should probably go back to our inn room and discuss this and talk.
At this time, you
Very
do
well.
begin to hear armored boots making their way over.
Then we'd better move quickly.
Let's go.
Lead the way.
you
So
all-
Ember,
Sorry.
okay, I was gonna say Ember gets both himself and Jared up, but just kind of like adjusts his grip, so he's got kind of basically Jared's hands behind his back, so he's still, I don't know if he's like fully grappled necessarily, but still got a grip on him, and is also rage is still up.
Fair. Understandable.
Alright. I would say if you're trying to get without just not get in trouble with the law for causing a fight, I would say group stealth check.
Boy, I'm so good at these.
Luckily, it's a group stealth check.
6!
Oh.
15.
3.
I click that, it's not loading. That's a natural 4, which I believe is a total of 7 for me. So, yeah, not great all around.
Yeah, Edie, who's actually being quiet compared
Oh,
to the
actually,
other
my stealth is +4. I'm sorry, it's an 8.
three.
Slightly better.
Yes.
Edie, do you stay with the rest of them while the guards convene? I will say that these guards are not armed with a noticeably dangerous weapon, they just have man catchers.
And he just sighs, looking at the other three. And last thing we need is
Dang it, the computer one was good. Never mind.
the last
We-
thing we need is
We can still go with the 8.
yeah, somehow Jared getting loose. So he just sighs and we'll wait for the rest of the party and at this point the guards to arrive.
The guards appear. All right, what's going? You lot again? It's the second time
Yep.
you've been here.
Yeah, magnets for trouble.
Obviously. At this point, this time we're gonna need you to come in and discuss what happened.
Can do.
Very good. If we may, who was the aggressor here?
Very pleasant smile.
Ember just gives him just like a bit of a shove to indicate like this person I'm holding down is the problem.
All right then. And Jared, three of them are going to approach you. I say that loosely because the man catchers have a reach of 10 feet. Do you resist them grabbing you around the waist and the wrists?
He will say, it probably will not dissuade them at all, but he will raise a single hand, not like in a fighting gesture, just like a hold, please hold a moment kind of a gesture. And it's like, that is entirely unnecessary. I will go peaceably.
We understand that. This is just for everyone's safety and assurance, if you will.
He's slightly amused by it, smiling a bit. Very well.
All right. As the second one, so one goes over your wrist, another goes over the other wrist, and as that second one does, you feel your body seize up through magic, and then as the third one gets you, you have the paralyzed condition now from 3 of these man catchers grabbing you. You can still move your legs. You're not like standing there paralyzed, but you have the paralyzed condition.
All right.
And they will escort you. Yeah, I would say that because you are guests of the matron, they would escort you to her palace. And unlike the other few times, the mood is a bit dire as... Sorry. Brain lost train of thought. The mood is a lot more dire as when you enter the captain, it's hard to tell in the armor, could be a Drakenblood, could be a lizard folk, heads deeper in, and you have a few minutes to converse before whatever happens.
Are we all going to the palace or just Jared?
All of you.
Okay.
There
I think
is
Oh, Mega Robot.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Apparently, it's not just
what is
Jared.
happening?
Zaldis, we're
Better?
losing you. No.
We paralyzed Zaldin's internet.
You're all good now.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
it in a shockable rhythm? Can we get it back?
Apparently, trying to listen to Spotify is too much all at once. For Roll20, Discord, and for the computer. But what I tried to say was that Jared is silent unless spoken to.
All right.
And Ember is kind of tagging along at he is very much like staying in the back, just very much like definitely keeping an eye on Jared, but to either Annie or Mina, like if they notice like Ember is breathing like very like purposefully in a way that it's like he's like putting a lot of focus into just holding it together basically. So I think Mina would definitely pick up on that. But
She is paying attention.
But he's also not gonna say anything unless spoken to.
All right.
Don't think Mina will say anything, though.
Is that all that happens?
Also, just clarifying thing, Ginger would have been left at the inn, so Doggo is not there.
All right. After some time, the guard returns with none other than the Matron of the Moon herself. All right, what's going on here?
This one, pointing to Jared, was about to do something incredibly foolish, and we stopped him.
So you say.
Sorry. Brain just realized I should probably pull up the stat block. just for skill. There's not gonna be a fight. If there is a fight, you guys will get crushed at this level. This is just for skill challenge stuff.
And Mina
Fair.
is telling the truth as she is aware.
Yeah, this is just basically a, like, you all work together, how much do I believe this kind of deal. It's basically a kind of caution, I need to be careful about the things they say. So, persuasion check.
You're not very good at this, my friend, but a 16 ain't bad.
16. She has a plus 29. I would say 16 plus 29 on the insight. Alright then. Thank you very much. For the rest of you, I hope you appreciate my caution, given how little time you've spent in my city, and this is the second fight in the streets. I do understand that the serpent folk were hiding their true nature from you, but coincidences. Now you, Jared, what was this stupid thing you almost got yourself into?
He would, Jared would, not that he'd be, slouching, but more like he ensures that his posture is pristine. And he answers very calmly that
Before you answer, could you
Mhm.
give me a Let me double check this. A charisma saving throw.
That's a 15. That was almost 25.
15 fails the zone of truth she casts.
All right. And
Mina will choose to fail if she is in the area of effect.
I would say you all are in the area of effect, but it's kind of like focusing on Jared right now.
Yeah.
But
which is
just,
fair.
Yeah, just for posterity's sake, Mina would choose to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ember feels it wash over him and doesn't even bother, and also just not so much choosing to fail, but not like trying to succeed. Like he just
Amy?
doesn't
Subtle
bother
yet
with
important
it.
distinction.
Amy, who's remained quiet this whole time, will purposely fail as well.
Alright.
Just remaining silent and staring in Jared's direction, not exactly directly at him.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were you going to say, Jared?
Jared will say, feeling the compulsion to tell the truth, but not necessarily, as far as I'm aware, the spell does not have to say the whole truth. It can be roundabout.
You cannot lie. You
Cannot lie.
intentionally lie. You can withhold information, but you cannot lie.
Okay.
You can withhold information, you can
I-
choose to not answer, but you cannot deliberately lie.
Okay. Jared will then say, we happened to run into an old acquaintance, one we hadn't met in quite a while. I simply was going to invite her to join us in traveling for a while. We can always use more allies on the road. Well, actually, no.
Okay.
He wouldn't say the last. He wouldn't say the last part, but everything up until the always use more allies part. That would be technically the truth.
It's technically the truth, but I still need a deception check.
All right. Deception. A 19.
19. How old are you, Jared?
Let me double check. I did
Take
not write that
lots
down.
of
So
Mina's
that
willpower
is
to not facepalm.
that
Like
that
her
is
style.
that is in character. She is asking you. That is not DM asking you. That is Matron is asking
No, yeah.
Jared. Just to
Oh yeah,
clarify.
no. Yeah, I understand. I was saying out of character. Let me double check. I can't remember. Oh, I didn't write it down.
You've said like late 20s, so like
Yeah, like
28?
20s. Yeah, like
Like-
28 sounds like that sounds right.
okay.
I have not checked a calendar recently, but at least 28, somewhere in that range.
I have met people who have trained hard to lie for at least twice that. You need to be better at it if you want to pull one over on me.
If anyone is
It's-
noticing Mina, like she is literally like straining to not just slam her head into her hands.
I think the matron would still pick up on that with the 32 insight.
Oh no! This is
She would
If-
like I said, she is straining. It is not if you're looking in her general direction, you would notice this is somebody who doesn't seem to quite grasp the concept of subtlety, trying to be subtle for like the first time in a very long time.
I would also say that she would notice Edie, who has been traveling with Jared and seen him do this before, just scoff and shake her head as she knows he's lying.
And Ember, at this point he's got his hand over his shoulder where Jared smited him. He's just sitting down, leaning against the wall, like breathing very heavily, and you can and she could definitely pick this up that his breathing is starting to get like a little heavier and a little faster, like he's starting to hyperventilate. That's why I made that wisdom save earlier.
Get a healer.
Guys, tell me how bad he's doing.
Could we get a healer for the Shadow Elf? Please? One of the attendants rushes off. Now then, Jared, I suggest you start telling the truth.
It is. What I said was the truth. I planned to invite her to travel with us after some time. Considering how she is different than all the others, I would give her the choice to accept or deny the challenge. If she chose to accept, then the better would walk away. If she denied, then nothing would happen.
Well, there must be a reason your companions are so concerned over a simple request.
I never got the opportunity to ask, considering previous interactions I have had with others of my ilk.
Oh, tell me. She asks, tell me to the group, not to Jared.
Okay, I was gonna say Zaldin. Since Ember's very much in just like a pain PTSD like fugue state right now, I feel like he would say some stuff, but I don't. Do I have your permission to do that?
Lay into him.
Okay.
Whatever it is, tear the man apart.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure above table we were good with this. Like I know we like you threw like acid and fire and ice and like smites on me last session, but this is what I wanted to double check about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Zeldin knows
Okay,
how much
anyway,
of a piece of work Jared is, so...
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think like in this again in his fugue state, Ember's just gonna say he was gonna kill her and take her powers like he's done with the others.
Jared simply nods.
I had to stop him.
And the fact that you can't see what is wrong about fighting against that system, I will never understand.
Oh, I very much agree. Tell me, why would you be able to take her powers if you killed her? What gives you this ability?
It is the gift. It is my right. And I will take all that I deserve. I'm not the runt I was. I have grown, and I shall emerge from the crucible ever greater, even greater than the Prominence himself.
As Jared's making this speech, Ember's gonna, take one of his hand axes and just throw it down, like, in front of Jared, like, not to hit him, but just to shut him up. 'Cause he's...
A lot of the guards, like, react to it because you just drew and threw a weapon, but the matron is standing there, seemingly calm at first, but it becomes very obvious that when Jared starts on that speech, she gets very impatient, as if she's heard it 1,000 times.
Does Mina recognize the name that Jared spoke?
You can roll a religion check.
Natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it is... It's... Because you've tried to do... At least what... was it Mina? You tried to
Yeah,
do
Mina did try and do some of the research to assist.
Yeah. You... trying to think about... Because a thing you would have learned from the research, and it has been hinted at from some interactions, this entity, whatever it is going by different names everywhere a cult or some followers pop up. It's an entirely different name. I think you... Oh. What is Mina's, thoughts on the Protector as one of the, as a deity?
Great respect, but things need to change and not just be stagnant.
Okay. I think that there's a bit of a... Because the Matron of the Moon is as powerful as a minor deity. And the Protector is also the patron of divine dragons, such as light dragons. You, as a cleric of her sister, I think you get a bit of, like, weird waves. And you get a vision of a tapestry with a tapestry with the edges trimmed in gold, starting with the first third of it utter blackness, and then the blackness drips down into those 3 points. Following that is a scene of people gathered. And then some of those people fighting amongst each other, including some new, smaller, and younger figures. And then you see a single figure standing, the 3-pointed crown above their head. And this figure looks a lot like Jared. But I think you also see in the edges of in your periphery in this vision, you see similar tapestries, first third black, going into those 3 points, but the rest of it is different until the end. You cannot make out most of these tapestries. They're in your periphery, and this is a divine vision, but the middle portions of all of these are different, but it seems like they're all ending the same way.
Everyone, after the vision fades, will see Mina, like, just sit up and gasp, because she definitely wasn't expecting what she saw, and then she will pass along what she saw to everyone. I am currently having trouble, like, trying to find the proper words to explain, so I'm just going to go with that.
Fascinating. Fate is very rarely already written. So why does Our Lady think that the story is already told? What is the name of this individual? And who are they? She's asking this to the group.
Looking them up, they have gone by many different names.
Oh, not the patron, the individual who Jared was seeking
the
to
Dragon
meet.
Blood,
Oh, Draken. Okay.
which trying to remember. As a player, I don't remember.
Double checking, because I think I remember it. Janaka was her name.
Thank you. Her name is Janaka, Dragonblood.
Which powers?
She has a symbol similar to his.
I was
If I were
referring
to
to.
describe her, though,
I was referring
she's
to
a- she-
draconic powers. Life. She's a life dragon blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edie will just
Yeah.
scratch her head. I think life.
Alright. If you all could please look for her, I think we could get some answers by talking to her.
Alright.
There's a good chance she's long gone, because we did tell her to run when we noticed that she was in the vicinity of this one.
Well, I do try my best to keep the city safe, and I hope everyone here knows that. Let's hope
Alright.
she's here, because then we can keep her safe even better.
Yeah, I'll attempt to message her. So Edie will head outside to get a clear, essentially a clear reception. And then we'll take kind of a rough aim to like the majority of the city. And we'll attempt to message her.
Alright. Roll a luck check.
Gotcha.
I will call this as high.
Nice. That is a 17.
Oh, that is really high. But given how big this city is, and I know for a fact that the range on message is 100 feet,
True.
you do not reach her.
After sending the message of everything has been dealt with and the matrion would like to meet with her, but with it failing, Eni sighs and will poke her head back in. Unfortunately, she's out of my range. Need to do this the hard way.
It's fine. I will have people looking for her, asking for her assistance here. She's just glaring at Jared at this point.
Are the healers there yet?
Yeah. We'll say they came and have been treating your wound, Ember.
Okay.
Jared is very calm the whole time. If he's asked a question, he will answer. He seems nothing wrong with this.
I think Ember is very just unsettled and too low on spoons to deal with Jared's bullshit, so he's gonna ask the healers, is there somewhere I can lie down?
Yes, we can. They look to the matron, and she sends you to. I'll say she sends you to a guest room. It is very nice.
Ember is not able to appreciate most of the niceness except for how soft the bed is.
The bed is. The sheets of the bed are silk. Very fine.
Oh yeah,
silk.
this is definitely the nicest bed he's ever stayed in. I think he's gonna say, if can you tell my friends, the Mina and Ini, if they could get my dog from the inn, if it's not too much trouble.
Of course. We could also get them for you ourselves.
Okay. And I think I don't know exactly what he would have, but I think he would give them something so that the person whose dog's sitting knows it's him. So actually, you know what? Fuck it. He's gonna take off his circlet and be so they know it's from me, or the headband.
All right.
Not unattuning to it, just not wearing it. So.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna curl up and try and basically just try and cope with all the pain he's in.
Eventually, Ginger is brought, and at first she's happy, and then she sad and cuddles up to you.
Thanks, girl.
Snuggle pup.
And yeah, and he's lying on his side, so his injured shoulder is up, and just kind of just brings her next to him, and just give her pets, and just puts his head on her head. And just tries to just not just focus on just how warm and soft she is.
Very warm, very soft, very cute.
And I think he's yeah, and he's gonna try and get some sleep. So I don't know what the other two, but he's just gonna stay there until someone gets him.
Alright. If you're not going to say anything, and I don't think there's anything more to be gained from conversation at the moment. She looks to the guards. You know what to do.
I am silent because I have not been asked further questions. If you wish more information, I will gladly divulge. I simply do not know what to give.
I am not sure what to ask. I've seen too many like you. Too many like you rule these lands. You spoil everything you touch.
I simply wish. What would he say? I simply wish. Yeah, he would say, I simply wish, and then pause for a moment. Sigh. Just very tired. Not exhausted physically, just of a lot. And respond with, I simply wish for the training I've had to endure. The years I've spent building myself up to not go to waste. I have.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it seems like it has. And she waves the guards to take you off.
Somewhat. Am I to be executed?
Not yet. I need to think of something.
Then come to a decision quickly if you're going to do it at all.
Yeah. You're eventually brought down below the normal, ground level of the palace to the dungeons. Immediately upon entering this area, you feel the effects of anti-magic. And you are put in a cell. It's pretty nice. It's kept clean. The bed's pretty decent, actually, still. But it is a cell nonetheless.
Now that he's here, and are there approximately how many others are in the area? There's obviously going to be guards here for security, but how many approximately are nearby?
I would say there's 9 guards stationed. Seemingly no other prisoners.
Okay. Then Jared would he knows it is not a wise decision to try anything here.
Oh, also to confirm, you have been stripped of all weapons.
Yeah. Not even trying, he's not even trying to formulate any kind of escape plan. He knows that it's basically useless here. And it all kinds of hits him at once that he failed. He failed. No, he didn't fail. He didn't fail. He can't fail. He must not fail. And he just sits on the bed and starts shaking. Bit of a increased breath rate. Starting to panic. He can't fail. He's not a failure. He's not a failure. He must not be a failure. He knows what happens to failures. And just panics a bit. He knows whether it's one way, whether it's one hand or another, he knows what's going to happen. He's already accepted it. and he hates it because after all this time, from starting as the one whose only expectation was to die for someone else to be better, no other, not even a chance of success. Just a pathetic little runt going to where he is now, and all of that to be worth nothing. It shakes him. And he tries his best to keep calm, but it's mixed results.
We cut back to the matron with Eni and Mina. That boy is on a path of self-destruction.
But he can be convinced to walk another path. He's never seen a different one.
Oh, that is possible indeed. I just need to think of how. Thoughts like that of taking power of destruction.
What he needs to do is focus on gaining power to defeat this being that is giving him the power, similar to what I'm doing with the Tyrant.
I agree, but the problem is, how do we do that while not... How do we do that while not letting him fall into these dark desires again?
Going to be tough getting it through that thick skull of his.
It will.
I am not saying it would be an easy task, but it is definitely one that I would take up. He is someone who I have started to consider a friend, despite his rough edges.
Oh, let's hope we can think of something, because we all know what will occur if he doesn't.
I believe in his case it is all about perspective and changing his drive and focus.
What is Mina and Eni's passive perceptions?
Mina's got a passive 15.
Okay.
And
I think you may have gotten cut off, Poke Emblem.
10.
10. Okay. While you are talking, Matrid eventually... You can come out. I don't appreciate your skulking. And a figure drops down from the shadows in the ceiling. Apologies. You see an elven individual. Gaunt. Skin grayed. At first you think somewhat like embers. But no, this isn't... This is a sort of... I would say... Mina, what would be your passive nature, history, or arcana, whichever is highest?
All of them would be a 12.
12. Okay. For now, all you can guess is that this individual, you don't think they're a shadow elf, but they also look kind of like they have some of the traits of a shadow elf. apologies, my lady, but my mistress wanted me to keep an eye on them. They are quite interesting. Technically, the Zone of Truth is still up. And is pointed at the individual. Is that the truth? Yes. Good. Because otherwise, I would not appreciate your presence here. Fate Watcher. If you wouldn't mind telling them who you serve and why you're here, then. The elven individual bows. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I and others of my organization work for the Serpent of Doubt, who you most surely have already met. She says this to Edie and Mina.
Mina will nod. We have made passing acquaintance.
She does speak highly of you all. Although I'm curious what she would think given your current circumstance. Perhaps not the best foot forward to put. But I digress. I do believe my lady may have a solution to your problem. Herself, after all.
Well, if we're seeking doubt, Edie will turn to Mina.
Against my better judgment, I am listening.
You say that's your companion. Or rather, it's somewhat obvious. He has the position he does on life because of, well, who he follows. I believe my lady may be a attractive alternative who can point him in a better direction.
How do I feel that him following your lady would be basically cutting off the nose to spite the face?
You see, the difference is, whoever he's currently working for has him scrounging for power, trying to take it wherever he can. My lady will give it freely. No more unnecessary murder. Only that which is necessary. An enemy we all share. And many more we don't.
In the end, it is his decision.
Of course, of course.
Still, if we can at least sow the seed of it, maybe then he can at least let that seed prosper.
Would you rather I make the case, or shall I plant the seed and wait for my lady to be the one to sow it? I will say she's probably more persuasive, and I might not be able to seal the deal.
Mina is going to turn to the matron because this is a little bit beyond her ken.
Yeah. Same with Eni. This is her area, so best to just look to her if it's all right.
No matter what the case is, she would need to be in direct contact with Jared in order to make this deal. And while I disagree with how the Serpent runs her territory, she's at least not aggressive. I do not wish to work for her under extreme circumstances. I would prefer to come up with another alternative, but if you all think that this is a useful one, so it shall be.
I'm not sure if we have time to look for too many others.
I was thinking of putting him through a test of some sort, showing him the power of building something instead of just destroying.
That might work.
My
Alternative.
only issue is I do not know how well he would take to it.
Probably not very, to be perfectly honest.
Decisions. In any case, if you ever want to follow my path, you can always try and find me. Goodbye. They bow and leave.
Eni will rub her temples. I think for now, maybe we should just sleep on it.
That is probably for the best.
You both can also have guest rooms. I will get one for Janaka as well when we find her, and then we can all discuss this together with Ember. Is that agreeable to you?
That makes sense to me.
Good with me. I'm just gonna go get some air. As
And while-
Eni will walk out.
And if it takes a while to figure things out, I was going to bring the idea up to the rest of the party of finding some paying work because I did want to purchase some new armor.
We'll discuss things tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mina
Right.
will nod because not much else to be done right now.
Indeed.
Can't do everything when we're splintered like this.
What do Mina and Eni do before taking a long rest?
Check on Ember.
I believe it has been established that Ember is taking a nap.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, I think
But Mina's still
he's
going to stop in and check on Ember and make sure that he's okay before resting and then talking with him the next day after he's awake.
Yeah, and I also feel like he's in that kind of like he's doing his best to sleep, but is kind of like in and out. So I think if Mia
Mina doesn't
does
have anything
like,
to say. It's literally just check in, see if he's okay. Yes, no,
Yeah.
nothing to be done right now. Just being the presence of that friend, being that presence, as I mentioned, she sees herself as a bit of a big sister to Ember, but she also doesn't
Yeah.
know what to do.
Aw.
Yeah. my point is it's like he like awake enough to register that you're there. That was the point I was trying to make. I'm sorry. Okay.
All good, all
But
good.
yeah. But yeah. So I think you find him, just curled up with Ginger and just, a very, like, pretty, like, closed, like, fetal position. I think as you come in, he's not 100% of the way, and he just says, Autumn? Hey. Oh. Hi, Mina.
We'll go see Autumn after this. That I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, normally I'm better with keeping it together when I get hurt, but
A lot happened.
What the hell are we gonna do with Jared?
We were discussing with the matron what to do. And an option was presented to us by a emissary of the Serpent of Doubt, but we're not certain what to do with that. And the matron would want to put him through some kind of test. It's not necessarily in our hands, but we can definitely nudge things. He needs to learn a different way because there was never one presented to him. I'm not saying that everyone should do what I do and campaign for a revolution and fight what many people see as basically a god, but I feel that's what he should do. Turn that whole cult that he's in on its head and go straight for the one on top and change it.
I'm with you there. I don't know, sometimes I feel like because I was just talking with him for a while when he said to keep him distracted, and it was nice and normal. It just, I don't know, sometimes I see glimpses of something else, and then he like moves his shoulder, but then it just,
what you're seeing, I believe, is the person that he could be if he was given a chance. And I think we should do what we can to give him his chance to be a better person, to find a better way.
I am with you there. I'm so bad at this.
Not
People.
Everybody is good at everything. I'm not the best with people either. I march forward to the hells with anything in my way. That's not the best way to be with people, but we play the hand we're dealt, and sometimes the way to do that is to also just try and completely change the game.
For what it's worth, I like that about you, that you try and change things, and you say what you mean and all that. I think that's cool.
Too many people try and say things that they don't mean, and it bothers me that people can't just say what they mean to say, so I try and be what I want others to be.
I think you do good.
Appreciated. And you are better than you give yourself credit for.
I try, just...
And that is the most important thing. You are trying. There are many who don't, who just fall in line and do what they're told. They don't seek to make anything better, they just seek to exist. And it drives me absolutely crazy that people don't try. Even if you don't succeed, the fact that you try is honestly more important. Because trying and failing means you know what you can do better next time, and you can just keep going.
I guess I'm just not... I want to help Jared figure things out, but I don't know how much I want to. Probably the pain talking, but don't really want to interact with him and try and break him out of his mindset if he's just gonna stab me again.
Then you don't have to. And I will.
Thanks. I'll do what I can, but it might not be much.
You have already done more than you probably could think. We are also going against years and years and years of indoctrination. It's not easy to break someone free of that. The only reason I was able to get away from the tyrant's stagnation, and I'm going to say easily, but that's not quite the right term, as I did, is because of the Lady of Destruction. She showed me a way. The one that should show him the way out is the one that has him trapped.
And we'll try to help him out. And avoid getting stabbed.
Feel are able. And I will be close by so that if there is violence, I will have him direct it towards me.
Thanks, I'll... I think I'll do better once I get some rest.
Yes, I was about to say that you should get some sleep, rest. Tomorrow will be a new day, and it will be, hopefully, a day that is clearer. And a day that we will actually have some ideas as to what to do other than just say that we should.
This might be a bit silly, but could you stay until I fall asleep?
Yes, I can do that for you.
Thank you.
will nod.
Mhm. He's just gonna call down with Ginger and kind of focus on just the, like, he's feeling really bad right now, but he's not alone, and he's gonna be okay, and eventually falls asleep.
Alright. What's Eni up to?
Amy would be, as she mentioned, she goes outside to clear her head, which today has been something. She will, unlike her usual MO of going to a very noisy part and participating in the rabble-razzle that would occur, or gambling, or drinking, or whatever, she would instead head to just probably a quiet part that looks out over the city, or just out in the surroundings, and just with a heavy sigh just lean against like a railing looking out. And as she sighs, just this little bit of darkness will kind of exude from her mouth, almost like being able to see your breath in the cold, which there's a bit of that too due to the weather. And after a little bit, she just shakes her head and raises one hand up to the bridge of her nose. This is what I was trying to avoid, you dummy. This exact thing. One thing if it's an enemy we're coming up against, but it's a girl.
Thank you. You here.
Ah! Edie clutches her chest and it feels like she's almost about to topple over the edge of the railing. How long were you there?
I just bucked up.
I see.
Thank you. I should thank the others too, but with you out there, I definitely could have taken him, but thank you.
Edie will just raise a hand. Not to be ungrateful, but feel more as if I should say sorry for both me and the idiot.
Why would you apologize? For yourself. I understand apologizing for him.
Sounds like I should have given you a more direct heads up about the situation, but decided to do the roundabout way like I normally do. Just try to act slick and run interference.
Honestly,
Now we're in this mess.
if he didn't see me, would have worked and I'd have been none the wiser and frankly happier.
Yeah, I'm glad it at least didn't end in bloodshed.
She sits down.
Innocent blood spilled.
She sits down by the railing. You know, I've gotten so much out of my relationship with my deity. So much. And I want to share it. But every time I've met someone else, they've been like that. This power-hungry pieces of shit. I'm not naive, and I know I look weak. I didn't grow up under the nurturing wellspring. I found her, and she's one of the few Dragon Lords that actually seems to get it. The matron too. Matron's great. She's fantastic, but we lost something that day. And we're losing it all the time. So yeah, I would have been happier not knowing that another time I tried to connect with someone like this. It was all a lie to use me, to make sure I don't exist.
That's what greed does to folks.
Could you repeat that? It was a little quiet on my end. I couldn't quite make it out.
Sorry.
It's greed for you.
Yeah.
You get a taste of something. And then you want more.
She
Especially if you've never felt that before.
She holds out her hand in front of her and creates a small little ball of fire and starts playing around with it a little bit in her hand. But there's also, at the core of it, it's not just fire. At the core is a point of light, like a star. I'm not gonna let this stop me. Hasn't before, and it never will, because I'm not going to let them win.
He chuckles and gives a small smile.
That's good. Just like him, you're greedy as well. But instead of wanting more, you want to give more.
That's not greed. That's charity.
Depends. Because you still get something for it.
Oh, not with this crap. I think that's that's a good place to cut for cut until after the long rest with a little bit of a time jump.
Okay. I would just say that at the end of the scene, Edie just kind of gives a much more genuine smile and chuckle.
Does anyone want any scenes in the morning, or should we cut to discussing what to do?
I'm all good on my end.
Nothing from me.
I
Alright.
think I'm just gonna do something real quick.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Okay.
fun.
Man,
That's gonna be fun.
Oh boy.
Okay, so what that's for, so who's at the, so when I'm guessing Jared's not there.
No, it is
Okay.
the matron, Janaka, Eni, Mina, and a guard captain. Zeldin, would you like to describe him? Since Jared's out of the scene, so I want to give you something to RP with.
He is a Draken Blood Guard captain. Seems old, grizzled, plenty of scars through experience in combat, and he seems as though he's very much what's the proper words for it? An old vet who's seen way too much of this BS kind of expression on his face.
Okay, so that means like even if I didn't crit fail, I is definitely gonna pick up on, so Ember is definitely like moving his body, and particularly like the left side of his body, in a way that's showing that his shoulder still hurts a lot. So like he's, you know, he's fairly he's keeping it together, but it's clear from just the way that he's moving that he is still in pain.
Mm-hmm. Then the captain would notice this and say,
Yeah.
"All right, lad."
Yeah, just old injury. You know how they are.
That I do. If something's flaring up, get it checked out as soon as you can.
I've been checked out. I'm good. And I'm applying that nat 1 to him saying I'm good as well.
Sure you are. Get yourself checked out again.
Everyone just looking at Ember just with a uh-huh.
I mean, I could look over it if you'd like.
The
Sure.
captain just gestures over.
This is no time to be acting tough.
Hey. Here. Also, something I realized about Janaka, she would have been a regular at the inn, right? That ever worked out? Like, if she was, like, he would have probably, like,
Yeah.
Ember probably would have, like, seen her around at least.
Yeah,
So,
you've definitely seen her and probably interacted a few times, but you probably don't, like, have a rapport with her.
gotcha. Alright. Yeah, I think goes over and just is like, yeah, I got hurt a while back and it didn't heal properly, and I took a blow yesterday.
That's a 24 on her medicine check.
Nice.
Oh. Wow.
19 plus 5. I think you two are off in the corner, so basically she's gonna notice things and we can talk about what she noticed, but we don't have to out it to the group, basically.
Okay, because I feel like with a natural 19 she would notice the thing we talked about,
Yeah.
and I shall not get more specific than that.
Oh? Okay. Not me getting closer to the laptop's built-in mic as I did that.
Okay, so... But yeah, and with the nat one, it's like, yeah, just everyone picks up on it with their varying levels of insight, so...
Yeah.
Or picks up that something's up.
Alright, so... my personal thought has been to... because we need to teach Jared that it's... his way of doing things is not going to solve anything. I've seen far too much of it. The reason the territories are the way they are is because of dragon lords like him. People and dragons claiming power to claim power, to be stronger, not for a sense of self-betterment. She gestures at Mina, just for the sake of power. I've found a lot of benefit in building and art, but that is an appreciation I had to have first and let influence me. Does anyone have any ideas?
I know he doesn't feel that he did anything wrong, so we need to show him somehow that what he has been doing is wrong. Because he's never known another way.
Sounds like a good call. I like the sentiment, but if he's so set in his ways, what makes you have any idea that he'd actually give it in?
Because
True,
not
he's been
just
doing
myself,
this for a
but
bit.
the others, we have seen that he is capable of it. He just doesn't seem to know it himself. It needs to... being subtle with it will not help. It needs to be shoved in his face that this is not how things are done.
Very true.
And if he doesn't take it, shoves it aside?
Then he was given his chance.
Prepare for that.
I already
Lost
have.
of what he's seeking.
What were you saying?
I can understand why he wants to get stronger. It's, in a way, similar to why I do. But he goes about it in a way that causes ruin to others as opposed to just simply strengthen himself.
I see.
May I... throw out an idea that's probably not So this is both Ember saying this as like, you know, I have an idea that's probably gonna get shot down, and also Miranda saying that this is probably a dumb idea that's gonna get shot down, so let's just shoot it down.
Yeah.
So
The captain will say, "It's an open discussion. Don't need permission. Just speak."
I have been on a bit of the other side of Jared's, what he's been doing. Not this exact situation, but something similar. I don't suppose there's a way for him to show that.
I think part of the problem is...
Give him some perspective.
I think part of the problem is him calling himself a runt. Sounds like that's already where he's coming from in a way.
If he is in that mindset, it does put him down. Making it a lot
He
harder
has
to dig
been
him up.
beaten down by his patron, taught that only strength matters, and that he is small and nothing. So he is trying to effectively fight from underneath. Someone standing up against bullies.
So that's what he sees himself as? The underdog story?
I believe he sees himself as somebody who has been through a lot, who has been attacked and bullied for being smaller and weaker. And he's been taught that it is right for the strong to subsume, bully, and take from the weak. And that has been how he is supposed to be, weak. And he's trying to get strong, and all he was taught to do with that strength is subjugate and strike down everyone else so he can never be hurt again.
What if we make... this is Janaka
Actually-
speaking.
Oh,
What if
okay.
we make him fight himself?
Okay.
Some sort of illusory trick or something.
Possibly.
That could likely work. Make him feel what he has been making
Okay.
others feel.
Ember, did you have an idea?
Oh, because the making him feel what other things been feel is kind of what I've that's why I was suggesting before, and I also had another idea involving one of Ember's memories, but like if we're here, I'm not picking if you have a plan for like how we're gonna go about this, I'm not picking up on it.
I don't.
So I can just okay.
That was just a fun idea that
Okay.
came to mind of, hey, you could make him fight
Okay.
himself, and it's a neat suggestion.
Okay. Okay, I was gonna say alternative for like, you know, showing him why he could do this abilities is if there's a way to show him Ember's memory of when he met Autumn. 'Cause feel like that I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah.
Especially contrasting showing him for what he is with kindness. That could work.
My only concern is that if he sees another version of himself that's not what he thinks he should be, would he think it's weaker? What do you think? It's lesser, not greater. And if it were,
Question.
and further, if it were a battle in the center of the mind, so to call it, who's to say that he would see this illusory double of himself as the weaker version of himself that he was? Fight it, kill it, and prove to himself that he's superior than he already was, or
Then we
than
need to have
to his
him
past
fight
self.
something that isn't actually there, something that he can't actually beat.
Point taken.
Show him that it is futile to do things that way.
That could work.
Sure, I'm getting that.
That is beyond my ability, but it is just a thought that I had, based on what we were saying.
It is beyond your ability, but maybe not ability as it is. We could ask for some divine ordeal, divine test, to show him these.
I feel like whatever test he takes, either midway through or before the end, he's gotta change how he thinks. And he taps the cap taps the side of his head as he says, as he thinks. Because if he doesn't somehow realize something's wrong, then he'll just twist whatever lesson he's supposed to learn into something that already fits his pre-designated worldview.
That's where the rest of us come in.
We actually might not even need the divine if we can set it up elaborately enough. Illusions, physical barriers, and perhaps somewhat of a test of character to show. Sounds like we might have some planning to do.
Agreed.
And I think that's a good place to call the session, if everyone's fine with
Agreed.
that.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a proposal, if everyone's fine with it. Now, this may be a lot of work on all of us, but
I'm listening.
Okay.
what if, Miranda, sorry, brain just like, name's gone for whatever reason. Brain
Take
is
your
just
time,
like,
take it.
people's names are gone. Miranda, Poke
Names
Emblem,
aren't real.
Miranda, Poke Emblem, and Ismaru.
Yep.
What if we take the time to plan out some tests for Jared, and next session will be a bit of Jared running through this trial gauntlet. And for the session as well, you all, either in character or out of character, helping to run the tests. Would everyone be okay with that?
Sure.
Heck yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
Are we gonna try and do this in 1 week or 2 weeks? 'Cause,
It might be good for 2 weeks, especially with the holiday coming up.
yeah,
Yeah. We can take next week off because of holiday.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
But I'm all for this.
Sounds like a plan. This is gonna be probably hell to set up, but also really fun.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see what the final result will be.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, chat. Thank you, players. Hope you enjoyed the
Thank you
game.
for running.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hope everyone's having fun.
Yes.
Yeah. This is great. I love it. Time to
Mhm.
break down the boy again.
Mhm.
Just build him back up.
Yeah. Break everything he thinks he knows about everything.
Mhm.
Bye, chat.
Happened once, it can happen again.
Bye bye.
Alright.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.